Yeah, okay, well, I guess we could start this here. So, welcome to another episode of Crime Pays, but Botany Doesn't. Here I is, we standing on the side of the road in beautiful Nuevo León, looking at some Pinus arizonica over there with the hills of gypsum and limestone in the background, and a beautiful old growth, if you can call it that, I guess it is probably a couple hundred years old, specimen of yucca, a giant dagger yucca. And this is a medium-sized one. They actually get quite a bit larger than this. Hey, you got a nice Notholaena down there too, look at that. Nice evening primrose. Anyway, today we're going to be taking you to a, what does this say? Top, oh, what the shit is this? Okay, oh, it's some oil additive for your car. Well, that was nice. Glad they nailed it into this yucca. Today we're going to be exploring some of the rare gypsum habitat that occurs in the state of Nuevo León. You know, the stratigraphy here, it's mostly, the geology is mostly limestone, but you get a lot of gypsum. Gypsum is kind of like limestone. Limestone's calcium carbonate, gypsum is calcium sulfate, and gypsum tends to be a lot more quote-unquote mobile, that is easily dissolved by water than limestone is. So gypsum can move through, the stratigraphy a lot easier and dissolve easier. Okay, I mean, there's areas here where the whole hillside just looks like a giant salt brick. You know, like something like you'd put out for the deer or some shit if you lived in a rural area. It's pretty incredible. So that being said, gypsum does present some obstacles to plant growth. It can be like serpentine or or sand dunes. It can be somewhat hard for a lot of plants to grow in there. But once a plant has evolved, gone through enough mutations to be able to tolerate the gypsum, it can outcompete any other plants that can't. So it's got that whole surface to itself, just like a blank canvas. So those are called gypsum endemics, and that habit is called gypsophilous. So we're gonna go explore some of the gypsum endemics on the Nuevo León. Nice. Here we go. Come here, horse. Come say hi. Where's the donkey? Get over. Come here. Come here. I got something for you. Huh? Look, you got the donkeys right there. Hey guys, come here. They don't want to come here. Anyway, so now you can see we got the prosopis. Looks like there's been some overgrazing, but you got a lot of pines up on those hills over there. And right here, we got a camp. Look at that. Look at the involucre on it. How many filaries? Always got to pay attention to those filaries. Ooh, look at that. Kind of keeled filaries. Got a distinct shape to them. I'm kind of plump. Little wind is blowing this to me. Here, let me get that. It's a better one. You see that? There you go. And we got a nice shot of that. See that? Only a couple ligules, maybe like 5 or 6, not a couple. 5 or 6 ligules spilling out of that involucre, and look, they're kind of recurving a little bit. And then of course those filaries are kind of distinct. Looks like uniseriate filaries. And then there's those leaves, kind of chalky mint green. Okay, so here we go. We got a roose. We got a species of sumac. It's like a Roose Microphylla. Almost said Poos Rachypacus. That'll work too. Look how woolly this is, huh? Oh, you love woolly plants. Adaptation to the arid climate. No fruits, no flowers, but it's cool enough to see a sumac with such woolly leaves. And here we got another species of sumac. This is Roose Microphylla. You can see it's mostly leafless right now. I guess it leaves out, or maybe it's drought deciduous. Who the shit knows? But it is flowering, and there's those tiny sumac flowers. White, 5 petals, almost indecipherable flowers. Really easy to pass up when you're just standing on the side of the road, breezing by it. There's those little leaflets, odd pinnate leaflets, again, but mostly out. But a lot of the sumacs are very important nectar sources for pollinators. Just incredible flowers on some of them. Okay, this is kind of cool because you can see we're up the road a little bit. This is kind of cool because I was looking at this composite, this aster, and it reminded me of a genus I saw in South Africa called Tyronia. And indeed, the name of this is Baccharis tyronioides, meaning it looks like a goddamn Tyronia. How about that? Imagine it. Don't you like it when I do that? You can see the leaves are covered in dust, but they're chalky blue anyway. And it's basically just a species of coyote bush. The genus Baccharis, which of course is pretty widespread in both North and South America and quite species rich. Saw some pretty odd ones in the Dominican Republic. Of course, if you live in California, you know the genus coyote bush. It's basically a weedy native out there. Great plant though. Okay, we just hopped that fence. There's not much soil here. Just basically bare limestone with a smattering of plants. You got a nice juniper right there. Who's this weirdo down here? Looks like them Nosmatexina rutaceae. Look at a little butt-shaped fruit. Still with those pellucid oil glands in the fruit, looking like a citrus peel. Smells pretty good. You got a little juniper. You got one of the meanest plants from the 9th circle of hell. This is a Cylindropuntia tunicata. All right, barbed, hollow spines. They'll stick right in your ass, and it's just forming a little mound right here. Okay, so but the spines are not just defensive; they're also shielding that epidermal tissue down at the stem from the sun. So it's sun protection as well as defense from herbivory. Look, you got some Astralepis here too. One of my favorite genera of ferns, the desert ferns. Not looking too hot right now, a little crispy, needs some rain. Oh, that's nice. I love these. Look at these chunky boys. Okay, so this is the same species as that. This is just a younger one. And that species, of course, would be Echinocactus platyacanthus. Okay, one of many cacti referred to colloquially as the biznaga. Look at this beast. Holy shit. This goes all the way down into Oaxaca. Any place at the right elevation and the right aridity. Because these guys are, I mean, you could see that's that big. You could uproot that, throw that in a closet for 4 years and take it out again, and it would just start growing again. And I believe there's actually a study where that was done, but that was with the species of Pharaoh Cactus, but same idea, you know? So they can go without light, they can go without water for quite a long time. And then there's those fruits. See that? Oh, I just got stabbed with some. Yeah, there's a spine in there too. There's those fruits. Fuzzy bastards, fuzzy little nabs. I've been growing a species. I grew this species, grew a seedling it is. It's still only about that big, but I had it in Oakland for a while. It wasn't hot enough for it there. Didn't get long enough growing season. Oh, these flowers did not get pollinated. You can see that fruit is empty. No ovules inside. Look at the dense trichomes on it though. Ooh, it's puffy. It's puffy. These aren't glaucids too. That's the prickly pear subfamily. Has those, not the cactoideae subfamily. Are any of these good? Ooh, look, it's so fluffy and soft. Take me to my safe space, huh? Chunky boy, like a green pumpkin, not a little green pumpkin, a big ass green pumpkin. Look at those fruits, so covered in the trichomes. Then look at this guy. Look, a rose by any other name, Persea plicata, a woody rose, a woody member of the Rosaceae. Ah, we get Perseas in North America too, but they don't look anything like this. They're yellow. And they're kind of weedy natives, you know. You go to like Northern California, Oregon, the high desert, but this is a banger right there. Look at it. What do the leaves look like? Oh, get a close up of the leaves, covered in trichomes and scales. And you got a green stigma in there or what? Let's look at the flower. Typical rose family flower morphology. Lots of stamens, dozens of stamens, ovaries in the center, 5 distinct petals. And let's take a look at that ovary if we can. Let me inspect that. Nice. Yeah, there you go. Inferior ovary. Covered in glands and trichomes. And this is a small one. They get a lot bigger. They can get upwards of 6 feet tall. I've seen them. Growing right with the Echinocactus. Okay, this chunky boy's flowers got pollinated. There you can see all the seeds. Look, you peel those trichomes away. You got a fleshy ovary. Ooh. And a bunch of tiny seeds inside. Very easy to grow, but you're not going to have much luck with it, you know, beyond a couple inches unless you got the heat, you know. But still, what a remarkable plant, you know. Just so adaptable. I remember seeing these in Oaxaca. They were like 4 feet tall, crested, just insane looking. Totally nuts. This is nice. You rarely see one of these anymore because they get poached so often. Ariocarpus retusus. Look at that. Thick cuticle on that. One of the living rock cacti, you know. So many of these have been poached, you know, and customs will intercept them, find a big box that some Chinese poachers got, you know, shipping en route to Asia or Eastern Europe too, where they're big. And, you know, and then of course I'll get a chance to film them at the greenhouse, you know, but anyway, pretty remarkable. All the Ariocarpus flower in November, so you won't see them. You can see how well it blends in with that limestone. You won't see them, and then you know, early November, last week of October, you see a big conspicuous pink flower pop up out of there. It was pleasant to see those. Some very weird variations on that genus too. All of them generally resemble rocks though. And then another nice banger we got here. Looks like it's just about to flower. Those flowers should open once it gets a little warmer during the day. Mammillaria. Mammillaria formosana. You can see it's got all those trichomes. That little crown of trichomes around its apex right there. You got two of them. They get quite a bit bigger than this too. Look at that. Spines and trichomes. What's going on genetically? What turns on the genes for spines and what turns on the genes for trichomes? How does it do that? How does it do that? How does it do that? You like shit, huh? You too much of a wuss to touch a piece of donkey shit? Go fuck yourself. And in these otherwise barren hills, we got, look at the Astralepis. Always loved the Astralepis. We got yet another species of cactus hiding. This will really get you into desert botany, won't you? You come out here, you just think it's generally boring, nothing going on. And then you get another odd species of cactus. You can see those pink flowers basically dried up, the fruits maturing. Thelocactus. Thelocactus tulensis. Thelocactus tulensis. Look at it. One central spine, got about 6 radial spines. You can see it's a little stressed. There's only a little bit of green in there. You got a lot of those stress pigments. You know, in other plants that aren't Caryophyllales the order, they'd be anthocyanins. Since we're talking Caryophyllales and cacti are in Cactaceae is in the Caryophyllales order, those are betalain pigments. Look at it. Are the fruits ready yet? No. But you can see just hiding in the limestone. Just loving its little rocky home in the limestone. Look, there's another one. More of those Thelocactus. Look, you got 2 of them. Are they the same? Or is it just the pup? Why they kind of look like hell though. You know? You ever have those friends that always look like shit but they endure? It's kind of warm-hearted in a way. As long as, you know, the poison they're on is not too dystopic, too much of a bummer, you know? But sometimes people just do that. That's what they do. Look, there's a little, could that be a seedling of that same Thelocactus? Of course, Thelocactus is the same genus as a Thelocactus bicolor, or excuse me, bicolor. What the fuck is wrong with me? I'm all dyslexic today. The glory of Texas cactus, but we're pretty far from Texas right now. Oh my God, just we got places to go, but then I see some more nice stuff and I realize we can't. We got to stick here and keep dicking around. It's a species of Echinocereus. Look at that. And how do you know it's an Echinocereus? Because you got that green stigma. Okay, I mean, the general shape is important too. Not all cacti with green stigma are in the genus Echinocereus. But if they look like that, just your typical variation of an elongated stem with a bunch of spines coming out the areoles, there you go. That is indeed an Echinocereus. So let's look at that erumpent bud popping just right out of the areole. Can you see it right there? But from that cluster of spines? Oh my God. Bangeralert.com. How you doing? Platyacanthes. Oh, don't you love an Areocarpus retusus? There's another one. Such a beautiful cactus. Doesn't it look so much better here than it does in some creepy knobs greenhouse? You know, in a fancy pot. No offense to anyone who's not a creepy knob, who has one of these in a greenhouse in a fancy pot. But, you know, what I'm trying to do is just emphasize the importance of conserving habitat versus just growing them as little show plants for your nerdy Cactus Club garden show. I'm sorry. Don't take it personally. We can still be friends unless you think I'm too much of an asshole. Some people do. I get it. I'm just fucking around. All right? Don't take yourself too seriously. I'm just fucking around. Look at this oak. Look at this dwarf oak. All right? The question to ask, though, is are these all the same genetic individual, or are these different seedlings? I'm guessing they're probably all the same genetic individual. Look at the leaves right there on this quercus, on that oak. Look, fuzzy undersides. Actually, you're fuzzy on the adaxial surface too, but the abaxial surface is quite white. And you can see they top out at like, I don't know, 2 feet. And you got a phalanx of the bisnagas, a phalanx of Echinocactus platyacanthus up there, looking so dapper in the Nuevo León sun. See, now my residual Catholic guilt has me feeling bad about throwing jabs at cactus collectors. I'm just fucking around. I'm just throwing jabs. See? Hashtag not all cactus collectors, just some of them drive the market. You know, gotta have it, gotta have it, gotta have it. They can actually be, you know, collecting plants can actually be a very rewarding pastime, which is something you, of course, would assume I would believe. There's another Areocarpus retusus, and here we got a, looks like a condalia. a member of the buckthorn family, Rhamnaceae. You can see how those branches just terminate in spines. See that? It's a good giveaway for the buckthorn family. Plus those fascicled leaves without a petiole. And it's just covered in the goddamn, it's just covered in goddamn Tillandsia recurvata. Look at it. Alive. White and gray and alive. Okay? Not dead. Hashtag not dead. Hashtag not all cactus collectors. I am just fucking around. You know, why do I feel so bad? I feel bad sometimes. I do. I just end up, you know, what am I going to do? Did I just make somebody feel bad about themselves? Now I have to go on a fucking spiritual quest to really take an inventory of who I am. You know, why do I feel the need to make others feel bad about things they enjoy? Why did I do that? Or am I just, was it innocent? Maybe I wasn't aware of it. Maybe I was just being a schmuck, just totally oblivious, you know, a lack of self-awareness. And now I have to go take stock of what I believe in and be more aware and sympathetic and empathetic to those around me. Isn't that what I should? Everybody should do that once in a while. Look at the horse shit. We got a Tetranurus. All the Tetranurus, save for one of them, are suffrutescent. So they got a woody stem down there. There's the daisy rays. There's that involucre, fuzzy involucre. This looks like scaposa. Tetranurus scaposa. Hard limestone with very little soil. And a plethora of cacti on it. And a plethora of sumacs too. That looks like Roose virens. Look at this weirdo. What's this? It's one of the marigolds. Looks like a Chrysectinia. One of the members of the Tegenerate tribe. So the foliage is going to smell pretty good. See the glands on there? See the glands? Got a woody base. Delocactus, just flush with the ground. Got a couple fruits on it too. Look at this opuntia. Look at this prickly pear. How those flushes of new growth are so red. They got those, are those the flowers though? I can't even tell. Is those flushes of new growth or the flowers? Could just be the flowers. Either way, they got those betalain pigments in there protecting them from that sunlight, from that harsh sunlight. And then right here we got a pretty interesting plant. This is currently in the genus Dahlia of the P family Fabaceae, the P subfamily Faboideae. Faboideae is a subfamily, Fabaceae is the family. You can see those pinnate leaves, you can see the glands. In Tribomorphae, same tribe as lead plant, which you get in the prairies of the Midwest. This is Dahlia falciformis, but I got a friend who's studying this, and she did some DNA work on it, and it turns out it's pretty remarkable. It's so different from all the other species in the genus, it warrants being placed in a new genus. And you could see, it's everywhere here. Oh, you got an interesting, what is this guy right here? What the shit is that? Oh, is that an onagrade? That's a goddamn weird onagraceae. What the shit is that? I can't even tell. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, look at that weirdo. What the fuck? What is that? Looks like betalain pigments too, mild succulents. Here's that Dahlia again. Dahlia falciformis. What a weirdo. Coming from a woody root, so it's an herbaceous perennial, and there's the flower right there. Banger alert, fuzzy calyces. Look at that guy. Fuzzy calyces. God, what a cool plant. You can see why it's called falciformis, because it's you can barely see those stems and leaves. All right, minimizing exposure to the sun. Okay, so this plant, this is pretty bizarre. This is really weird, because this is a huge disjunct for the genus Anacampsteros, which is primarily in South Africa. You know what? I didn't even know there were any species here in Nuevo León. This is Anacampsteros coahuilensis. Okay, so you see that particular flavor of red pigment. Of course, those are betalain pigments, order Caryophyllales. This is the family that's a kind of sister to cacti, or most closely related to cacti. I guess Portulaceae is kind of close to it too. Oh, look at a nice lichen over there. Looks like a species of Sora. Anyway, very odd to see this here. You can see it's about to flower. No, maybe it's done. It's done flowering. Just two bracts on either side of that. You got succulents, another good giveaway for Caryophyllales, and of course those betalain pigments. And there's the fruit. You could just see, oh, I just dropped my camera. You could just see there's three papery bracts. I saw four on the other one. Can't get over it. How the shit does a genus that's primarily in South Africa end up on the other side of the Atlantic, growing at 5,200 feet elevation in Nuevo León? Either way, just dominating here. Coming up right next to this weird Dahlia. this weird goddamn dahlia, which it turns out is probably not a dahlia at all. Probably gonna get thrown in another genus. Look at that, Dahlia falciformis. Fuzzy calyces. You got the glands on those calyces. What a beaut! Look at it. Actually, hairy calyces, plumose calyces, and the glands, the orange glands, and then there's those leaflets. Look at that. Herbaceous perennial. What a nice herbaceous perennial. You got a perennial root down there, and then God, look at the color on it. Oh, look at that beautiful blue on those tiny leaflets. Those tiny ovate leaflets. There's quite a few of them coming up here. So this plant has a massive root down there. You know, probably like the diameter of like 2 thumbs. Massive compared to the above ground vegetative parts. And even more interesting is you could see those bracts. Those are the immature flowers. The spike matures from the bottom up. So these will be opening soon, probably next week. But you could see those bracts with the glands, the little polka dot, the little dark polka dots. They kind of fall off. They're glabrous, and then they just see there's one on that one. That'll be falling off soon. So they protect the emerging flower. I love this plant. Holy shit. And I love that my friend is doing some very cool work on it, too. I think she's getting her PhD on this. I don't know. Look at this massive bastard. That's got to be upwards of 2.5 feet across. With the squishy fruits, the squishy fuzzy fruits. Beautiful Pinus arizonica on those hills. Look at it. Do you like Spanish moss? Tillandsia usneoides, when it's in a Pinus arizonica? You like the way that the wind rustles through those pine needles. Oh. Such a pleasant setting. And you just got massive fields of maguey, of the agave. And what species could it be? That fucking asphodylus, this invasive, is everywhere. Aloe family from South Africa. Actually, this might be from the Mediterranean. I don't know. But look, you got the limestone, you got the Pinus arizonica, and you just got fields of agave everywhere. And you got, oh, there's some dude on a horse. Can I ask him if he's got a donkey? We're at about 6,000 feet elevation. Kind of feels like parts of the higher parts of Arizona or New Mexico. Look at a donkey. I need a donkey. Where are you gonna get one of them? You could just go take them from BLM, Bureau of Land Management, wants you to take them from the wildlands down there where the feral. You just go get a feral donkey. Just get a horse carrier, drive up there, load them in, lure them in with carrots and peanut butter. Look at it, coming up beneath this mimosoid pea. Little zygomorphic crow, like a little snapdragon. Woolly as hell, too. Look at it. Look at all the hispid little hairs. You got some old oaks too, and up there you get all that, all the Yucca carnerosana way up there. So you can see them flowering. See those white inflorescences? Look at this. You got a bunch of nice oaks here, but because Nuevo León is currently in a state of drought, they kind of look like shit. Looks like those leaves are trying to come out though. So drought deciduous. It probably does get pretty chilly here in the winter too, because we are at 6,000 feet. But you can see everything's covered in that tillandsia, so you can't get too many freezes. I wonder what that is. I wonder if those are oaks up there leafing out. And this agave is just everywhere. Kind of looks like agave ovatifolia. A very beautiful agave that produces profuse pups. Yeah, these oaks look like shit. I was here 3 years ago. It was a lot greener. Oh, look at this. You got Dermatophyllum, formerly in the genus Sephora, taken off right there. Look at those pea flowers. It's a pea tree with a white banner with some purple speckling on it. And then there's those fruits. Supposedly used to, some of the native people of South Texas used to take these to, hallucinate. But I think the seeds are actually pretty poisonous. But, it's a fine line between, an intoxicant and a poison, I guess, for some compounds. A lot of toxic peas out there. And then over here on the other side of the road, we got these wonderfully dipping sediments, dipping steeply to the west. Look at that. Floor of an ancient ocean in the early Cretaceous. Now, as we descend in elevation a little bit, we're starting to get into some of the palms. This is a species of the genus Brahea. You can see they don't get too tall, but it's got these beautiful glaucous leaves on it. And it's coming up here, I don't know, we're probably 5,500 feet now on the gypsum and the limestone. Let's take a look at the rachis. Look at it, massive. Now, like I said, they don't get too big. They don't have any teeth on the sides of that rachis. petiole, massive petiole. And then they got some wax on there. They got some cuticular wax. A nice farina. Okay, now here's the genus. I believe it's the only genus in its family. Real weirdo, and it's a partial parasite. It's a hemiparasite. This is a species in the genus Cremaria. Let's take a look at those flowers right there. Quite a distinct morphology. They're zygomorphic, 5 petals, or 5, are those the sepals or what? Yeah, those are the sepals. And then you've got all kinds of weird glands in there. You got, there's the petals actually. There's 3 petals up top, those little yellow things, 2 petals on the side, and the stamens right there in the center. Cremaria is pretty common. Look, it's velvety too. The leaves are velvety. Cremaria is pretty common in the deserts. I think you even get a species in Florida, but they're mostly in the southwest. Then you get a couple disjunct species down there in Chile that I saw as well. They're all hemiparasitic. Look at how the distal ends of these branches turn that russety color. Is that just the buds? And then look, you got nectar on that flower too. See, glistening in the sun, you got nectar on those petals. Petals kind of turn into nectar glands. So juicy. I wonder what the most predominant pollinator of it is. Yeah, what a weird plant. Cremaria! After some prick named Kramer, probably, I guess. I don't know, that's what I assume. Coming up right here in a limestone / gypsum. Okay, so as we continue down the road, the flora just gets weirder. You could see there's a giant outcrop of gypsum. It just looks like a giant salt lick, you know? If anybody needs to make drywall, this would be the spot to come. Just take a chunk of that home, and you can see how easily it reacts with acidic rainwater. See? Oh, look at that. Got a beautiful patina to it, though. Stuff some in your mouth. See that? There's spots in New Mexico. The whole Chihuahua Desert gets these gypsum outcrops. Oh, look at that. Now, what is this, a Pelea? Well, look at that. Nice member of the Terradaceae right here. You're going to have to get money shots today. And look at those recurved margins of those leaves, protecting the sori where the spores come out of. Then we got this weirdo right here. There's a cowboy. You know, there's some guy screaming down there. I think he's just a cowboy screaming, or a shepherd screaming at sheep. But I thought it was somebody with Tourette's. It made me feel like I had community here, you know, being somebody that tends to have, you know, Tourette's myself. I frequently break out into profane-laden song and dance and whatnot. But anyway, let's check out this guy right here. So Hydrangeaceae is the family here. You can see those leaves. Look at those leaves. Lanceolate leaves, kind of whirled around the stem, covered in little strigose hairs, and a thick velvet of strigose hairs. There's those inflorescences, almost like a corium of 5 white petals with an ovary in the center, and it looks like 10 stamens. Just coming up on pure gypsum. Is it a gypsum endemic, I wonder? It could be. You got another, you got an oak up there, you got that palm up there, and you got, what is that, Argyrocosma over there? Another member of the Terradaceae. Yeah, so this is Fendlerella from Hydrangeaceae. You got 4 species in the genus, 1 in the United States. I believe it's mostly in Utah, but all of them grow on calcareous soils or gypsum. Oh, that fern is cool. I think this is Argyrocosma. See? Or it could be Notholaena too. I don't know. It's fucking Terradaceae. Have to figure it out when I get back. I'll put it in the captions there. See how bright white that abaxial surface is? And then this guy down here, you got a Myriopteris, one of the chylanthoid ferns. Same family, the Terradaceae. Coolest family of ferns, IMHO. You got all the scales on the underside there. Holy shit. Growing straight out of a brick of gypsum. See, we don't got the camera stabilization. We got some new age massage music, you know, on the stereo. We were listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire earlier, but this kind of sets a better mood. You know, just pretend you're getting slapped around. Sitting there on a table, oiled up and slapped around. That count.
This thing is crazy.
What the shit is this? What is this? What is that? This dainty little flower. Always got to look at the little shits, because there's interesting stuff there. See, the leaves are just covered in the dust. And the dust and the fuzz. Oh, tiny bastard. Anyway, as you can see, we're here on pure gypsum now. You got various species of Sotal dacilarian. You got your Pinus arizonica. And you got Yucca carnerosana, the giant dagger, which is a much larger plant where it's not growing on the nutrient-poor gypsum. But here it's kind of pygmied. I've also got Staphylos up there, Ericaceae, that species of palm, as well as abundant Selaginella. And this would be Selaginella. Oh, there's that dahlia again, Phyliciformis. This would be, I believe this is Selaginella gypsicolia. Look how tightly wound that is right there. Just tightly, and then it gets wet and it just opens up like a resurrection fern, even though it's not a fern. And right here, we got, apparently it's a gypsum-tolerant Aristolochia, a gypsum-tolerant pipe vine. Okay, basal angiosperm family, generally pollinated by fungus gnats. Okay, it's a little bit covered in the dust, but look at that velvety flower, a velvety maroon flower, kind of looking obscene, colloquially known as the Dutchman's pipe. There's a lot of weird Aristolochias out there. I've seen some very weird ones in Chiapas. A friend of mine photographs a lot of the various, she's named a couple new species in the Dominican Republic. What is this? There's all kinds of weird. I was out here last time. My friend Carlos found an ammonite. Variations on Aristolochia. Oh, that's nice. I just got stabbed by this agave. Coming up at the base of this agave. Look, a little blood red, velvety Dutchman's pipe. Alan's seen it first. I didn't even see it. I was just walking around, muttering and ranting to myself. You know, trying to feel at home with that Tourette's guy. And, isn't it going to be a shame when you can't make fun of Tourette's anymore? Even if you have it. All right? They're really, you know, everyone's too politically correct these days. When you can't make fun of Tourette's, cack! Oh, it's so amazing. It's so incredible. It's too nice. Could it be too nice? Huh? I can't handle it. Look at that. Look into the center of that flower. Doesn't it look, it looks kind of disturbing. Look up Hydnora. That's a member of the Aristolochiaceae there. It's a parasite in South Africa. Equally, actually, it's much weirder than this. It doesn't produce any chlorophyll. Look up Hydnora. Hydnora. God, I love the gypsum. You like the gypsum, huh? You like it when it's nasty? Ooh. Alan, tell me what you think of the Aristolochia.
This Aristolochia is awesome. It's like this dark maroon color. It's not a color that I would expect to see out here.
I know. What's it doing? What do you think it's doing? Fungus gnats, man.
I don't know, making seeds, I guess.
What the shit is this? Everything's too weird out here on the gypsum. God damn it. Where do you even start? Imbricate leaves. The flowers spike. The flowers are tiny. What are you doing? Is it a pea? It looks like it might be a pea. Could be a polygula too. Could be a polygula. The flowers are too small to even really see it. Look at the gypsum. How does it do it? Why? Why does it do it? It's too weird. And then this agave, either striata or cryptica. I have no idea. Very mean when you bump into it, though. Look at that. We got Rutaceae, the citrus family here. We get this genus in North America, too. Trifid leaves. Flowers aren't quite mature yet, but if you crush those leaves up, like all the members of the citrus family, they smell pretty pleasant. They smell very citrusy. A multi-branched shrub just coming up right on the gypsum. Move this palm out the way. Then we got Staphylos. Nice view of the burl. Nice money shot of the burl. This one's not in flower. We saw it in flower further up the road. Look at that beautiful bark, though. A relative of madrone in the blueberry family, Ericaceae. Pink flowers when it's going off. So we got Tillandsia on everything. Tillandsia recurvata, nice. Oh, interesting composite. Interesting member of the sunflower family. Have to find it in flower. Oh. And there's flowers on that Staphylos. Buzz pollination. So a honeybee's got to hold on to that flower. You can see that little green stigma popping out. And then there's those porose anthers. See the pores? Looks like the end of a little tube. The bee's got to grab that flower, vibrate his wings at the right frequency, and it just dumps pollen out. A more controlled method of releasing pollen. Instead of just letting it all go at once, you dispense it in little packets. Kind of like, you know, when you go to a really chintzy restaurant and their bathroom, they got the toilet paper dispenser, and the rod that holds the toilet paper is shaped like an oval, so you can only pull off 2 squares at once. Kind of like that. The plant's being cheap with its pollen. It's like a giant salt lick. Anyway, so let's take a look at those anthers, because they're diagnostic for the family Ericaceae. Porose anthers with those little inverted awns on them. See them? See that? Kind of like at the tip of the anther. So I pulled the corolla off, and they're adnate to the corolla. So they're fused to that corolla. And then there's the You can see the ovary with the style, with those long styles on it. 5 sepals still attached to it. Just like a little blueberry. So, you know, I think most of the ericoids do that, especially the members of the arbutoid subfamily, the manzanitas, the madrones, the chimerostaphylos, etc. It's a little urn-shaped flower. See, that selaginella betrays the fact that it is still indeed alive. You see the green in there? It's just waiting for a rain. That trait is called being poikilohydric. Kind of a mouthful to spit out right there. When you can dry out, you almost fully dry out, and just, you know, stay alive. And then just once it rains, you just go back to doing what you're doing. You get Selaginella lepidophila, a relative it is, in the deserts of West Texas. There's that, I forget what it is. It's Notholaena or Gyrocosma, one of the Pteridaceae. Just growing right out of a crack in the gypsum, right out of a fissure in the gypsum. Oh, and this is an interesting plant. This is Verbicina Hintonia, and it's not flowering, but it does have quite a few seeds on it. You can see it's done. It's starting to re-sprout. It needs some moisture. What are you doing, Lloyd? You find something nice over there? Look at that, just a whole mat of Selaginella, gypsicola. Yeah, Verbicina hintoniorum. And this thing is even more bizarre. It's a species of euphorbia, a weird species of spurge. Look how hairy it is, holy shit. Look at those cyathea with those drooping ovaries. See that drooping ovary with the 3 styles still on it? And it's coming up on gypsum. I wonder what species it is. Probably quite rare. There's a Cercocarpus, rose family, coming up. That's a tree. I don't know why. Maybe it got gnawed down or chopped or something. Look at this. There's that spurge again. Look, it's even crazy. There's an even bigger one. Look how fuzzy it is. God damn it. Leaves like mullein. Look at all the hairs on that thing. Look at the flowers in full flower. Look at those cyathea. Ooh, the new leaves do not have hairs on them yet. Look at it, just coming up straight out the gypsum. Probably an endemic. I'm telling you, man, gypsum's like serpentine. It causes speciation. Get the weirdest plants on this stuff. There's just Selaginella everywhere. We got a nice Echinocereus. Oh, it's wrapping up for today. Got a little too chilly. Here's that Verbicina hintoniorum again. See, spent. Little yellow daisies. And very hispid leaves when it's going off. It's just coming back into, look at all the hairs on it. It almost looks like Boraginaceae. So hairy. It's just coming back into leaf right now, herbaceous perennial. What's up with this Echinocereus though? Oh, too late. We were too late. Might have to pry those flowers open a little bit. Would that be a violation? And then you got that massive Cactus in the background. Just growing right in the gypsum too. So much good stuff. Nice oak coming up beneath that Dacelerian, massive Dacelerian. Holy shit. My mind is officially blown, goddammit. Nice, we got a nice species of paintbrush right here. Nice species of Castellea. Wonder what it's parasitizing. Friend Cross was telling me about a new species that they just found growing at the higher elevations. I think by Ceropodosi. Anyway, so there we go. Orobanchaceae, hemiparasitic member of Orobanchaceae, not one of the obligate parasites. Can photosynthesize on its own, but it's just going to steal a little bit too. Look at the style poking out of that corolla. So that yellow is the actual corolla. That red, those are just bracts. Just leafy bracts with a lot of pigment in them to attract pollinators. And the stamens are deep inside that yellow corolla. Look, we got a Thymophila. Species of Thymophila from the marigold tribe. See the orange glands on the side of that involucre? But this is a very woolly one with kind of lanceolate leaves. Coming up on the gypsum, is it tolerant of gypsum or is it an endemic? Got to ask ourselves that about everything we see here today. Because it is just such a fucking weird habitat. Such a bizarre habitat. Palms that grow on gypsum. All kinds of weird ferns. Ericoids, you get your Chromaria up there. Fucking weirdo parasite. Dacelerion. Who's this? Who the shit is this? Look at this guy. I didn't even see him. He's got that little green style poking out. 4 petals fused into a little funnel form corolla. Look, just just stems and leaves like string. Filamentous. Didn't even see him. I'm sitting here looking at the goddamn Thymophila. I didn't even see this guy. You know, how big is the flower? About 5 millimeters across. But the 4 petal thing, that's pretty odd. Look at a massive agave. So I guess we'll end it here. Look at all the Yucca carnerosana on that hillside too. Such incredible habitat. I mean, you can't walk like 3 city blocks without, you know, it'd take you all day. There's so much good stuff. I believe that's agave salminiana or salmiana. It's agave salmiana. Anyway, they get a lot bigger than that too. I just seen one that was like 8 feet across. Look at that, you got gypsum everywhere. So remnants of an old ocean, of a shrinking sea. And as it shrunk, you got all those minerals that were in that, all those salts that were in that seawater. As the water just began to evaporate, those minerals precipitated out. And so that's how you got the gypsum right here. And of course, gypsum's pretty mobile, you know, with rainwater. I say mobile, but just mean it gets dissolved easily, excuse me. So we got gypsum, limestone. You frequently get gypsum with limestone. You'll get selenite in some of the limestone, you know, in the Rocky Mountain states like Utah and what the shit. But I've never seen, you know, save for New Mexico or parts of West Texas, any place that's got just barren white gypsum soils like this. Because the elevation we're at, we get those pines, and even more bizarre, we get those palms up there. So anyway, hopefully you learned something from that. Really bizarre habitat, and of course gypsum causes speciation, so evolution being what it is, you get all kinds of weird shit popping up. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hopefully you got something out of that. Have a good rest of the afternoon. Go fuck yourself. Bye.